גלגלצ.
Hi, this is Ed O'Brien from Radiohead.
And I'm Philip Selway.
And you're listening to Galgalatz.
It's crazy, you know, that people are doing the same thing for so many years and still like it and doing it.
I know, it's an amazing thing, isn't it? You know, 24 years on from this little band who come to this country that has a song that they like called Creep, and we're happy to go anywhere that people will have us.
You remember anything from the live shows there? Or?
Oh, absolutely. It was very hot, that's for a start. But what I remember most about them was I don't think we'd ever actually had that kind of intensity thrown back at us from an audience before. Never. And that kind of blew us away at the time.
First time, you know, and, you know, we went to America about 3 months after where it was intense. But you're right, the first time was here, and it was a very, very emotional trip for us.
Yeah,
it was very emotional. You know, those 3 shows at Roxanne and talking with the fans afterwards, and, you know, I remember I cried when I left, when we flew out. I had my shades on, I cried. I felt like, you know, it was a very emotional thing.
For us to actually get here to as far as to come and play in Israel, at the time that just felt, well, maybe, you know, that's it. Maybe that's us peaking. But also, I think at the time, I think there was a few question marks over us amongst, you know, record company. Yeah. It's, you know, they felt that we kind of maybe we weren't going to deliver. And actually, I think for us at that point, it's just that sense of coming and thinking, actually, maybe this has got kind of a wider draw. Maybe we do have something kind of, maybe there is a lot more that we can do as a band. At the time, I don't think any of us could have envisaged still being to be doing it 30 years on as we are.
In the end of the third show, which I broadcast on the radio, Tom is, before introduction to Pop is Dead, Tom tell the audience the music is going to end unless we'll become very, very famous.
Right.
Because what I saw then was the passion, you know, you were like, it's your last show.
Yeah. And it was, every night was like our last show. And it really and that carried on for a long time. You know, that carried on till, you know, OK Computer. By the end of OK Computer, because we didn't stop when we saw you in '93, we didn't stop until 1998. Finished touring OK Computer, and it was like that. Every show was like you live and die by that show, and much as that's amazing and that's very important for a young band, but to sustain it, you can't carry on like that because inevitably you don't have good shows, or shows aren't as good, and you mustn't be hard on yourself. I think what you learn to do is, it's like an athlete or, you know, or a football team or whatever. You just do the best preparation you can do, and you treat it with the utmost integrity. And sometimes some shows aren't as good as, you know, and you don't know why, and it's not because you haven't tried, but it's because, you know, sometimes as a band you need to kick up the arse, sometimes, you know, for whatever reason. So I think that you're right. At that time, passion was everything. It was every gig. OK Computer was interesting because there were moments on the bends, but OK Computer was about letting go in a way, and that the music has to breathe. The music has to breathe, and it's that thing, you lose yourself in it, and it's much more kind of just doing it, opening up, but not forcing. It's not like, you know. And also the music that we've been recording for the last however many years, it doesn't help if you're like, you've got that kind of passion, that thing. You have the passion for the music, but you have to play it. You have to be relaxed. You have to be in the middle of it.
How do you keep the passion now?
Because you still love it. I mean, the thing is, like, if you don't love it, don't do it. That's simple. And I think we're very lucky because music is the greatest bullshit detector, you know? You can tell when a band doesn't love it or an artist doesn't love it because they don't make good music. It's not music that connects. But we never make that kind of, never want to be involved with music that doesn't have that the love of the music. You've got to be honest.
Absolutely. And I think one of the, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, really, because on one side of it, you'll never, ever be the musician that you'll want to be. You'll always aspire to something more.
You're still learning?
Yeah,
Always.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the side of it that actually keeps it moving along. You know, you probably never have that satisfaction of thinking, I've arrived. But that actually, you know, produces the new ideas. It pushes you in your playing, and it pushes the shows along.
The changing of the music itself, not the lyric, but the sound of the music. It's like every circle you want to invent something new. Is it one of the goals of this band?
We don't go, right, we have to do the most innovative record. It comes from being curious and wanting to learn. And if you've done something, you've done it. And I don't think we're quite aware of, trying not to repeat ourselves, but repeating ourselves wouldn't feel right. It's not something that excites us.
With the Bends, we were really fortunate in being invited by a band like REM, inviting us along to open for them, and having that thing of actually 2 records under your belt, where you can actually, there is that potential to look at it, and you can start actually playing with the sets that you're doing, and I think you have a better sense of your own identity as a band. And I really felt that started to come together during the Bends. You know, there was the time of actually, we have all the videos that people think of if they think of Radiohead around, like the Just video. And so I think there was much more of a kind of an identity for people to grasp onto with the band. And as I say, I think we, for the first record, as most people do, most bands do with their first record, there's something that's slightly uncertain, something that's slightly apologetic.
We didn't really know what we were doing.
No.
We sort of, on the first record, and it's a lot more forgiving to coming to a country like Israel or to America because, they like Creep. Whereas in your home country, the moment you open your mouth, they know where you're from, kind of where you went to school, and they've seen you around them, and they're like, I don't really like this lot. And I think with what happened was that we sent out a lot of mixed messages. People thought Creep was good, but they thought we were a one-hit wonder in Britain, and they kind of wanted us to be. And then the Bends came out, and because we wanted to make an album of all strong songs. There were a lot of people who wrote us off, said they'll never. And the thing about the Bends was that it was word of mouth. People like, you know what? This album's really good, and it just spread. And with, like you're saying, with the videos and the radio hits, so that you're right. By the time we played it, it's the Kentish Town Forum.
Yeah.
It was suddenly like, oh, okay, they could be a great band. They're not a great band now, but they've made a really good album. And the last album was pretty good. They had a couple of really good songs on it, sort of thing. And it was good for us because we realized on Pablo Honey, and we realized touring America after that we needed to get our act together. Videos are important. The way you look, a bit more kind of, and just make an album that was really strong. Unfortunately, you can't please everybody all the time. I think hopefully people have come to realise with this band, the next record won't be like the last record. They said, I remember when the Bends came out, they were like, oh, why is it not like Pablo Honey? And then when OK Computer comes out, they go, why is it not like the Bends? And then the next, why is it not like OK Computer? It's like, you have to do what feels right, and you really mustn't make music for thinking that people, you'll make this kind of music because people will like that kind of music. Because how can you feel that? You do music because you feel it is right. It comes out of you. It's like, it's excitement. It's exciting. You don't do it because you think other people will like it. You hope other people will like it, and you're really pleased when other people do like it, but you don't make it. We're not making bricks in a factory for people to buy our house that people need. It's not a demand for it that we're supplying. It's a different thing.